it was in 1997 when Bruce Beck could no longer freelance. And I was doing hockey, and Bruce Connell was one of the hockey producers. Bruce's father, Scotty, is on the Mount Rushmore of ESPN. He was one of the founding fathers. And Brucey said, and I always do it the way he did, Goldie, I got a gig for you. It's in Japan. They'll pay you this. You gotta take a jiu-jitsu class. And we were off and running. And that was the SEG days, John. So I didn't know where it was headed, not sure, didn't know anything about it. But I was an enthusiastic broadcaster who could tell stories, and my partner was the Olympic gold medalist Jeff Platnick.
Right.
So I let Platts do his thing.
Yeah, who was just such a hero in the wrestling community and just a pioneer and
cancer survivor.
Cancer survivor and calm man, but like gentle giant. He was a man that had a reputation preceded him. you know, and, great man. But it was really interesting as a fan because again, this is the SEG days, right? Pre-Zuffa era. And when Zuffa came in, obviously they rebranded, things shifted. But for a fan like me who had to really struggle to keep up, we're talking videotapes and message boards.
Oh, yeah.
You were kind of continuity for me. You were still there, and there was sort of some revolving doors, Frank Shamrock and some other people. But ultimately you were my figurehead, and you could tell a story and provide a background, and in 30 seconds or less as a fighter's approaching a cage in some of those smaller venues back in the day, I could learn, okay, I'm rooting for this guy or this guy because you were able to provide 3 details about them, and that narrative was huge. It was huge foundation. And what was it like? This is going to be such a generic question, but man, you're talking to the guy who said prodigy and precision is precise.
You can't tell me any kind of derelict. You're good.
But you're smooth as silk. The thing is, you're going to have a couple whiffs at 2 million at bats or 10 million at bats.
That's what I always say. By the way, I say if my blooper reel is only 15 to 20 minutes long, and I was on the air 15 to 20 million minutes, I'm a Hall of Famer.
But
I still laugh because. It's always I laugh at those now. Where before I'd be like, hey, I'm a human being, and now I sit back and I just made fun of myself doing it. Right?
The internet is a cruel place sometimes, man. I did one. Hey, been there, done that, man. I counted the hard end of criticism once, and I couldn't handle it. I took it down, man. I understand. But you are the Mount Rushmore, in my opinion. It's just crazy.
Thank you.
And you're certainly, man, you were always well prepared, well spoken. You had awesome catchphrases. You kept us entertained. But again, by providing those narratives, it helped us understand why we needed to care. And the fighters did the rest from there and kind of showed us. But I was just, as a fan, nostalgic over the holiday, the Christmas holiday. I checked out GSP's debut and Nick Diaz's debut.
Wow.
And it was you, man. And you narrated both and you're commentating. And I'm like, in anticipation for this conversation, just like, this guy got to see that. He got to be the soundtrack to a Chuck Liddell, of these people beginning to end. What was that like?
Chuck backpedaling, knocking out Babalu.
Man, yes, exactly.
Tito walking in with that epic walk-in right after 9/11.
Yes.
Randy coming back and beating Tim Sylvia in Columbus, 08.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You just said a few things that go back to my hockey DNA, John. And the first and foremost and most important to me is preparation. And preparation is representing the fighters, right? Bill Clement, he's my idol. He took me under his wing. He said, Goldie, here's the deal. Always be prepared. If you leave a bunch of it on the table, that's okay. It means the game went in a different direction. He said, study. When you think you've studied enough, study another half hour. And then push it aside. Because after that, it's going to boggle up in your brain. And that's a little bit what happened with the NFL, but it is what it is. I made a mistake. And I still got to do one, but it's one where really what cost me was social media. And what upset me, John, was when one person said, do a little prep, do a little homework. I knew I had a shit game. I knew I was all over the place. Hadn't done football in a long time, over prepared. But don't question my work ethic. Right. So that part of it gave you those first steps towards the cage. And I have always said, and will continue to say, I don't care if it's Michael Bisping's 21st fight or John Gibson's first entrance into the octagon. You have worked your ass off for years. You have sacrificed. And so it would be the cruelest insult and the lack of integrity on my part to say, oh, I don't know much about this guy. So I studied just as hard on the new guys, and to have you say in that short walk, I gave you a little background on him means the world to me, because that was it. So that's the first part of my philosophy. It's F and F. So that's the fans. That would be the fighters. I'm giving their backstory. Then when they get into the cage, enthusiasm, the things that you talked about, that's the fans and the fighters. But I can't tell you how many fighters have come up to me and said, bam, 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 boom, 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 boom. Thanks for getting that right. Thanks for mentioning that. Man, you reminded me of things I didn't even remember doing. And a lot of hard work. That's the stuff you don't see like you as a wrestler. That's the weight cuts and, you know, the stuff in the gym and, you know, are your ears going to be bad or not? Are you going to wear headgear or not? That was my work for the UFC and for any gig that I did. And, you know, when you echo what you just said, it means that I did enough and I did it right.
You did a wonderful